So The Circle is directed by James Ponsoldt. I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not entirely sure. Starring Tom Hanks and Emma Watson. So basically the plot of this movie, Emma Watson is this temp working for some company and she doesn't like her job at all and she wants to get a real job. And she gets one at this place called The Circle. And I think the best way of describing this place is like kind of a slightly futuristic, more technology-esque Google type thing with a lot more cameras and privacy issues. So Emma Watson starts working there and she really likes it. It's like this big community of people. It's really fresh and young and hip, and Tom Hanks, who's kind of like the head of all that, he seems like this really smart, really intellectual, really approachable kind of guy. But as it progresses, you really get more of an idea of what this company is trying to do and what they do with these cameras around the world and trying to get information and kind of expose privacy and keep that from really being a thing. So let's start with what I liked about this movie. First and foremost, the acting. Emma Watson and Tom Hanks are by far the best parts of this movie. I mean, Emma Watson, she's a really great lead. She plays the part well. She's beautiful and adorable at the same time. And you kind of understand her position, how she's, wanting to rise, but also she's curious and unsure about this place. And then there's Tom Hanks, who is just like so much fun to watch. He's a fantastic actor. He has this charisma to him in this film specifically that just makes you really want to listen to him and get on the same page as him. But at the same time, there's something very mysterious about him and you're not really sure what's going on behind the scenes. So as this movie progressed, I was really interested to see where it was going. It was an interesting idea and it brought up really fascinating ideas about technology and privacy and how far that should go and how much control companies and technology should have over our lives. And it was building up and I wasn't sure where it was going until it got to the end, and it ended. And when it ended, I still really didn't get where it was going. Though this movie has some really good ideas, sadly, it doesn't really deliver on its ideas at the end of the day. I mean, like I said, I was intrigued by the story and where it was going, but I knew that the film was about maybe an hour and 50 minutes to 2 hours. Right before that point, I looked at my watch and was like, this movie's basically over, and I don't see how they're going to wrap all this up. And the sad thing is, they don't really. There are a lot of different plot elements in this movie that they don't answer or are just really underdeveloped. Like, for one thing, Emma Watson's friend Mercer, played by the guy from Boyhood, who unfortunately isn't the best actor in this movie. In some scenes he's okay, but there were a couple scenes where he was like, not the best. But anyway, that kind of plays a pivotal role in what happens in the plot later in the film. I won't tell you what, no spoilers, don't worry. But you're supposed to believe that these two are friends, and they don't really take time to develop that friendship, so when this tragedy takes place, you don't really care as much about it. And then you have John Boyega's character, who's a good actor, and for what he's in this movie, he's good. But the thing is, he's not really in the movie much, and he's kind of got his own agenda, and you're not really sure what he's doing, but you're interested. But they don't really give you any of the details on what he's actually doing or what he did do in the past with The Circle, so there's no really weight to that character or that storyline. And even at the end of the movie, like I said, there was a certain tragedy that happens with Emma Watson and her friend, which kind of pushes the movie to its climax and to the end. And I was curious as to where it was going, but at the end, it just kind of ends. If the movie had gone one of two directions, I would have been okay. They could have gone kind of a darker, more sinister for the future route, or they could have ended on a happier note where something else could have happened. But the thing is, they almost kind of try to do both. And I don't think it's a spoiler to say that Tom Hanks is kind of the villain. And I say that with a grain of salt because though he's the villain, once again, you don't really know what he's doing. Like, there's a point at the end of the movie when Emma Watson is kind of like exposing something with Tom Hanks and his associate. And it's supposed to be this big reveal, like, oh crap moment for Tom Hanks. But the thing is, you have no idea what he's been doing. You're just supposed to go along with it and accept that he's been doing something and just do it. But once again, because they don't explore that at all, you don't really have any weight to the movie, and I found that really disappointing. And one other thing I want to mention, this isn't necessarily a negative to the movie, I just feel like I need to note it. Bill Paxton plays Emma Watson's father in this film, and he has some kind of mental illness. And for me, it was really sad to watch that because, as you guys might know, Bill Paxton passed away earlier this year. So overall, guys, this movie, it had an interesting idea going for it. The lead actors are good, and I will give a shout out to Danny Elfman, who did the score for this movie. It was really cool. It kind of had a sort of futuristic, techno, creepy mystery feel to it. But at the end of the day, guys, I was unfortunately left disappointed by this film, and I'm going to give The Circle a C. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please click on any of my other videos on my channel right now. But you know what you should do? You should click here to subscribe to my channel so you get updates for when I actually put out the new videos. And if you want to comment below and let me know what you think, please do. I always love hearing from you guys and knowing what your thoughts are on the matter.